What now?
That's a long story. I guess we kind of have to go way back, to the very beginning. Do you know where vampirism came from? Exactly. The first vampire came from Molag Bal. She was not a willing subject, but she was still the first. Molag Bal is a powerful Daedric lord, and his will is made reality. For those willing to subjugate themselves, he will still bestow the gift, but they must be powerful in their own right before earning his trust. The ceremony was degrading. Let's not revisit that. But we all took part in it. Not really wholesome family activity, but I guess it's something you do when you give yourselves to a Daedric lord. Well, you've met most of us. My father's not exactly the most stable, and eventually he drove my mother crazy with him. And it all ended with me being locked underground for who knows how long. It's definitely been a bad thing, on the whole. I will be. Just give me a little time.
So, where are we off to now?
It does feel kind of normal, but that's from me, speaking as a vampire. Even as I'm undead, or however you put it, I still do feel like a normal person, mostly. I still breathe, feel, and sleep, except now I just have a great desire for blood, and the sun kind of irritates my skin. These symptoms are rather mild, though. Not like other vampires who almost burn in the sunlight. So, I'm really just like you mortals in many ways. Hopefully that makes me more relatable.
Do you need something?
Well, I do admire their fondness for the sea, as pirates, sailors, or adventurers of the open waters. I used to read stories and great tales of Redguard pirates, from the shores of Stros Mackay to the farthest reaches of the Abetian Sea. Especially the daring adventures of Jaik Talonwood. He was a little childhood hero of mine. So what do you say? Would you like to sail the open seas in pursuit of fame and the rarest treasures? I was kind of just playing around, but I like your enthusiasm. Maybe we should set sail for the coasts of Hammerfell sometime, after we're done with everything here in Skyrim.
Oh? What is it?
About... Yeah, actually. I definitely didn't expect there to be a war of succession while I was gone. Also, I never expected a Cyrodiilic empire to conquer Tamriel, that Tiber Septim. Even the Remnants didn't achieve godhood. But, what do you think of all this? Oh, I see. Well, if it's worth anything, I do agree with you. Somewhat, at least. Worshipping Talos isn't my thing.
Do you need something?
Alright. Not that often, really. Being a daughter of Cold Harbor, I can go without blood longer than other vampires. That, and I can also rest to regain my energy. It doesn't fully satiate the appetite, but it staves off hunger for a while. So don't worry, I won't go feral on you or anything just because I haven't had a daily meal. I also read stories. There was supposedly a vampire in Akavir which never fed in her entire... life? Or whatever you call it. And that vampire supposedly sided with humans, fighting against her own kind. Yeah, actually.
Nothing else then? I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, actually. This might seem a bit heavy, but hear me out. What's your outlook on life? What gets you up every morning? Me too. Just getting pent up on that island. Ugh. It feels so good to be outside and adventuring for once.
Yes?
What do you mean? Well, I guess it's because I never felt that kind of thing was for me. I was always expected to act a certain way, and was never really asked if that was what I truly wanted. I always knew I was meant for more, not like one of those girls who felt pretty and stood inside their castles all day. And then, things started getting icy between my parents. That basically hit the nail on the head for me, at least for how I wanted to live. I saw neither of them as role models after that.
What now?
Now that I think of it, I do. What brings you to Skyrim? So that in the end, you would get rich, get famous, or perhaps something else? And perhaps you've already found her.
Right behind you.
I have, actually. And if I wasn't an adventurer now, I would probably be running a shop or two. Maybe even a conglomerate, if the divines would permit. Ever since I was a child back on the island, I'd particularly be interested in the merchants that would come to our castle every now and then. Of course, these were weird merchants to say the least, with peculiar and eccentric collections. These vendors make even Belethor look weird. My father was kind of into those things though. I mean, it wasn't anything particularly weird for someone who fancied himself as vampire royalty. And who also was a staunch Daedra worshipper. Point is, there was just something in how these men sold and marketed their products. Kinda made me interested in the whole shopkeeping thing. Weird shopkeeping things, but still.
What now?
I never knew it would be this beautiful. Someone should really make a painting for this place.
Sky, guard you. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? No, no, of course not. Forgive me, Dragonborn. I have been intemperate with you. But heed my warning. The Blades may say they serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. I never have. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. It is called Dragon Rend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragon Rend holds no place within the way of the voice. But not Dragon Rend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax.
Incredible.
Oh,
Paarthurnax. Paarthurnax. Curious name. I wonder... No, surely not. A ridiculous notion.
Dragon Rend, eh? Seems like the name of a legendary shout. If it fits the capabilities of disabling just about any dragon, that would be incredibly nice to have. Not just for Alduin.
Hero claims a warrior's heart.
let's get indoors. Or in a cave. Anywhere, just out of this.
The path to Paarthurnax lies through this gate. I will show you how to open the way. Look. Va. Call.
I'm no fan of the sun, but it would be better than this.
grant you my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Skyrim. Use it well. Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit.
him?
Dremyolok, greetings, Wundernik. I am Parthenax. Who are you? What brings you to my Strumach, my mountain? They see me as master, Wuth Onik, old and wise. It is true I am old. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation? Drem, patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove.
You really gotta hand it to the Divines. Nern truly is beautiful. Miles better than Cold Harbor, that's for sure.
Feel it in your bones. Match it if you are Dovahkiin. I have spoken. The Rotmulag waits. A gift, Dovahkiin. You'll understand fire as the Dove do. What you can do. Greet me not as mortal, but as Dova. Ah, yes. Sosedo Vrostmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind. So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a Jor, mortal. Even for one of Dova Sos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me? Ah, I have expected you, Proda. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin. Alduin Comet Tid. What else would you seek? Alduin and Dovahkiin return together. But I do not know the Thum you seek. Croesus, it cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jor, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove, the dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts. Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum?
There once was a hero named Ragnar the Red, riding to Whiterun from Ororix.
Prusa, as good a reason as any. There are many who feel as you do, although not all. Some would say that all things must end, so that the next can come to pass.
Singing.
writing and
Perhaps this world is simply the egg of the next Kalpa? Lean Vokine? Would you stop the next world from being born? Paz, a fair answer. Rolfus, maybe you only balance the forces that work to quicken the end of this world. Even we who ride the currents of time cannot see past time's end. Wulsetid los trahodis. Those who try to hasten the end may delay it. Those who work to delay the end may bring it closer. But you have indulged my weakness for speech long enough. Croesus, now I will answer your question. Do you know why I live here at the peak of the Monaven, what you name throat of the world? This is the most sacred mountain in Skyrim, Zokravakstruma, the great mountain of the world. Here, the ancient tongues, the first mortal masters of the voice, brought Alduin to battle and defeated him. Yes and no. Viknus Nikaron. Alduin was not truly defeated either. If he was, you would not be here today seeking to defeat him. The Nords of those days used the Dragonrend shout to cripple Alduin, but this was not enough. Ok Mulag Unslad. It was the Kell, the Elder Scroll. They used it to cast him adrift on the currents of time. How to explain in your tongue? The Dove have words for such things that Jor do not. It is an artifact from outside time. It does not exist, but it has always existed. Rahwalan. They are fragments of creation. The Kele, Elder Scrolls as you name them, they have often been used for prophecy. Yes, your prophecy comes from an Elder Scroll. But this is only a small part of their power. Zofa Suyek. Not intentionally. Some hoped he would be gone forever. Forever lost. Meye. I knew better. Tidbo Amativ. Time flows ever onward. One day, he would surface. Which is why I have lived here. For thousands of mortal years, I have waited. I knew where he would emerge, but not when. Tid Krent. Time was shattered here because of what the ancient Nords did to Alduin. If you brought that Kell, that Elder Scroll back here to the Tid Ahran, the Time Wound, With the Elder Scroll that was used to break time, you may be able to cast yourself back to the other end of the break. You could learn Dragonrend from those who created it. Crosis, no, I know little of what has passed below in the long years I have lived here. You are likely better informed than I. Trust your instincts, Dovahkiin. Your blood will show you the way. Return it here to the Tid Achran. Then, Kele Vomindok. Nothing is certain with such things. But I believe the scroll's bond with the Tid Achran will allow you a seeing, a vision of the moment of its creation. Then you will feel, know Dragonrend in the power of its first expression. You will see them, Uthfadon, my friends, Haken, Gormlaith, Feldir. The first mortals that I taught the Thum, the first tongues, the leaders of the rebellion against Alduin. They were mighty in their day, even to attempt to defeat Alduin. Sahrot Hun, the Nords have had many heroes since, but none greater. Vomindok, I do not know. Perhaps in the very doing, they erased the knowing of it from time itself. The Dove are children of Akatosh. Thus, we are specially attuned to the flow of time. Perhaps also uniquely vulnerable. I warned them against such a rash action. Even I could not foresee its consequences. Nust Lihon, they would not listen. Yes, there were a few of us that rebelled against Alduin Stur, his tyranny. We aided the humans in his overthrow. But they did not trust us, ni Ov. Their inner counsels were kept hidden from us. I was far from here on the day of Alduin's downfall, but all Dove felt the sundering of time itself. I cannot tell you in detail. I never heard it used. Kogan. It was the first Thum created solely by mortals. It was said to force a dragon to experience the concept of mortality. A truly von Mindoran. Incomprehensible idea to the immortal Dove. I have taught the way of the voice for centuries, and the Thum since long before that. But no, Dovahkiin. Others do not come here to train anymore. Saran, you are the first in over 100 years. I meditate on the Rotmulag, the words of power. I counsel in their use. It is enough for me. Knowing a word of power is to take its meaning into yourself. Contemplate the meaning of a Rotmulag. You will become closer to that word as it fills your inner self. Will I teach you, Dovahkiin? What word calls you to deeper understanding? There are 3 to master. Fus, Faim, and Yol. It is called force in your tongue. But as you push the world, so does the world push back. Think of the way force may be applied effortlessly. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. That is Fus. Let its meaning fill you. Sum Ark Mora. You will push the world harder than it pushes back. Dremyolok, greetings. Lok Thum.
Well, that was a plot twist and a half. The leader of the Greybeards is a dragon. Did not see that one coming. What's next?
Do you need something?
Lead on.
Yes? I was just thinking about that moment in the past. The ceremony. Let's just keep moving, all right?
So, you spoke to Paarthurnax. The dragon blood burns bright within you. Did he tell you what you wanted to know? Did he teach you the dragon rend shout? Well, so be it. If he believes it is necessary for you to learn this, we will bow to his wisdom. We have never concerned ourselves with the scrolls. The gods themselves would rightly fear to tamper with such things. As for where to find it, such blasphemies have always been the stock and trade of the mages of Winterhold. They may be able to tell you something about the Elder Scroll you seek. Such blasphemies are the calling of mages, not followers of the Way. Take your question to the College of Winterhold. They may be able to help you. Wind, guide you.
So, where are we off to now? Ready if you are.